Okay.
Misses on Gifted
Peace,
Sis.
love, and Black Power, everyone. I'm excited to be on with you tonight. This is your host, Shakti Sterner. We're coming with you with another episode of Submissive Misses right here on Get This Wisdom Live. And I am so freaking powered up for the dialogue we're going to have this evening. First and foremost, let me provide the disclaimer that I always provide at the beginning of any shows that we do. I am a stay-at-home mother. I have two small children, so you may hear them from time to time in the background. However, do not let that discourage you from our dialogue. So we have with us tonight my sister. Yo, I can't even go publicly on how much this queen actually means to me. However, it is queens like her who make this journey so beautiful and make all of the trials that we go through, the tribulations that we go through, so worth it because you get to connect with such beautiful beings that possess this divine, angelic, spiritual, ancestral, just whatever terminology you want to use. This light just radiates from them, and you can't deny it. You can't do anything but embrace it. And these this sister has, since the moment I have first encountered her, has touched my spirit in so many different ways, just from being an avenue of love, light, peace, balance, inspiration. I could go on and on and on, but I'm gonna have to shut up and take my position as the janitor because this is her show and I'm just here, to be along for the journey. She's going to share with us some insightful wisdom, drop some gems on some things, and give us some firsthand accounts of some things she's been through. I'm going to shut the hell up right now. I'm going to bring my sister Kay up to the front. She's going to, introduce herself, give her a little bit of her history, and then we're going to get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and go on mute and let you step up to the front. The mic is yours, beautiful lady.
Peace, peace. My name is Kafias. Um, I was born in Georgia, in Atlanta, and then I migrated to Flint, Michigan, and I lived there as well. My childhood was split in half, so down in the south to the north. And I'm so happy to be here on Shakti's Live. I love her so much, and I like her so much. Very intelligent, wise woman. She just wants to spread the knowledge and she wants you to get the wisdom. So plug in with her and follow what she's talking about. She's always trying to teach, and I always learn something. That's why I like her, because she's always teaching me something. So, um, Shakti um, is so smart to me that it flattered me, and she asked me to do an interview with her. And then the things that she wants to talk about today, being colorism and what it's like to be a beautiful, big queen and the struggles and triumphs with her. And that was perfect. I would love to talk about that. I would love to dialogue with her, dialogue with you all. Um, I'm really excited. I've never done this before. So I would like Shakti to come back and tell us what colorism is. She's like a
Indeed,
dictionary. It's brilliant.
indeed, Queen. It's just me and you. We got a full audience already, but it's just me and you. Don't even worry about it. You're doing great. And again, thank you for jumping on with me tonight. This has been a dialogue that has been a long time coming. As I spoke to before, the Queen has, definitely been an inspiration to me and those around her. So I give her all the praise and adoration due. Now, tonight we are words past tense. We are going to have a in-depth conversation on colorism first and foremost. This topic is very touchy to me because so many of us have experienced colorism in many different ways and forms. However, what colorism is basically the the mindset that has been impacted by this society that states that one color or one hue of skin is more superior than the other, or you're not, included or important because you don't have this particular color of skin or this particular shade of melanin in your skin. And this particular psyche or thought process or conditioning, or for the best term I could come up with right now, is something that has been passed down from generation to generation. So many Black men and women alike have been affected by this, impacted by this, and it's like suffering in silence, because let's just face it, when our ancestors came over here, and this was the interruption in our great legacy, our great history, because so many people have it in their head that our history starts with slavery, and it doesn't. So let me provide that level of clarity. However, once we got here, we all know what happened in the slave field, all of the injustices and everything. However, when the white man, how cliche is that? However, let's just be real. When the slave master, started having sexual interactions with our women, raping them and traumatizing them, and even the men too who suffered through gut breaking, but the women particularly because they were able to give life to children. That's when you started, within this society, because there are many different cultures all across the world, many different civilizations and dynasties that included all 16 hues of melanin. So let's get that clear too. But within this society, when our women, our ancestors got raped, that's when you started seeing the mixing of the races, quote unquote, the genetic. You started seeing lighter children being born and so on and so forth. And that, later on we went to the closer you are to white, the more right you are. And that left certain darker skinned family members, our people, feeling like they weren't beautiful or they weren't worthy, or it impacted them so deep on a traumatic level. A lot of our people feel like they are nothing. However, we have some of us have lighter skin looking at you all like we want to be like you. So it's a big old confusing mixing pot of confusion and things that have been thrown in our community. But one thing I do want to provide before I invite the queen back up is there are 16 shades of melanin, as I said before. That's all it is. There is no dark skin versus light skin. This ideology that we have, that is a conditioning, we need to put it to a complete and total stop. Not today, we should do it 5, 10, 20 years ago, because all of you are beautiful. It doesn't matter if you are the darkest of powerful melanin or if you're the lighter shade of powerful melanin. You're just a melanin based being at the end of the day. So I'm going to invite my sister back up to the forefront so she can add her little thoughts on to what colorism is and how she has, experienced that herself and how it has impacted people around her and just within the world itself. I love to hear her thoughts on this. So go ahead, Queen.
So, colorism. I would say the way things have went in my life, they bring me to moments where I understand they had to happen, so I could deliver the messages of why it happened and appreciate the differences. When I was younger, when I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, that's that's one of the black meccas, you know. And I grew up around successful, beautiful black people who looked like me. And then different serious events happened in my life. My father was deported, so we moved to Michigan soon after that, and I clearly saw the difference. It was major, and I didn't understand what it was. But you know, what's funny was I knew the technical term for this because my mom, this kufi, my mom always wore kufis. She always told us knowledge. She used to make us, if we didn't understand the word, look it up, where it come from, you know, how to use it, and we would be technical. So when it happened, it would be like, oh, this is what this is. So having that culture of just very intellectual, um, the culture is African spirituality culture. You know, Black love culture was heavy in Atlanta. So for me to go from Georgia, which there are extremely, you know, racist white people there, but there's also extremely self-hating Black people out there as well, unfortunately. And to go from that and then come to Michigan, the first similarity was the ones who hated themselves, how they acted, and the ones who didn't want to associate, you know, how they acted. Their behavior was very similar. It was quite the same. That was the only familiar thing when I came to Michigan was just that very thing. Culturism and self-hate. I mean, not culturalism, colorism, but it is a form of culturism. I went from self-loving, successful, you know, businesses. You know, they looked nice, they smelled good, they were at their high prime, and then to come to Michigan and not see that anything. The only time I saw it was where you are in Detroit. So um, it was it was culture shock. And it depressed me that they out as a child I wasn't accepted around other, you know, children because I liked myself because I was around others that loved themselves. So that was promoted. I got to see the flip of the coin, and it was very depressing. Um, as well as you know, I didn't look like everybody in my family either. So that was a whole other entree in itself. We served cold, and I had to learn how to know who I was and stick with that, and not let anybody change me at a very young age, due to those type of interactions of the people close to me not accepting me for who I was. So it was either not be myself and embrace myself or be pushed around and treated terrible. And not saying that there wasn't any love, but the sad thing about appreciating those people you grow up and learn from is that you don't get to talk about the things that could have been changed, the things that did bruise you, out of not wanting to take away the time and the love that they put into you. But we can't keep doing that because it causes sickness, causes you know these type of interpersonal relationships we're supposed to have. They stay weakening and break brittle. You know, one pillar of the family passes away, everybody crumbles, and it's because those relationships, you know, had all those little weaknesses and colorism is moment. My it's deep in my family, and um, not so much um, you're ugly if this color, but more like I don't like you because there's a blood separation that you don't know about, but I'm gonna cover it up and tell you that you don't look like any of your cousins. I'm sure those are your cousins. And why are you so black? Why are you so tall? Why do you talk like that? Why is your hair like that? Why are you dressed like that? Those things go hand in hand with colorism. And sometimes those things are used to cover up the fact that someone thinks that you're less than because of the tone of your skin or the kinkiness of your hair. That's a whole, they always are tied together to cover up their deep hatred of their own. So learning what colorism was as a technical point and then experiencing it was, whew, it was a ride. And I think I'm the type of person that because I decided to embrace myself and I said it's only me here. Um, I'm not going to stop being who I am, and moving forward because I'm not accepted by these people. Because I always found that there were other people who did accept me. And they showed me so much love. And the love that I had inside of me to give to people that wasn't getting blocked by their self hatred in different aspects, it was just so dope. And to know that I could let go and still be okay because it was a something I didn't understand that I could verbalize when I was young, but I was feeling it, and people didn't like that feeling of freedom from me. People don't like my form of freedom now. And I've just been, I enjoy the hard times because I know I'll get to how I feel right now. So I always encourage people, to go through their feelings. I'm not a person who always likes to acknowledge my feelings at all. But you know what? Um, I guess I'm going to tell a little more about myself. um, I was considering committing suicide, and I was outside by a tree, and I thought, how is it this tree goes through all the worst weather, and it still grows these pretty flowers every year? And I thought, I can't do this thing that makes me not want to live anymore. I can't buy into it because this tree's got pissed on, got pooped on, it has been cut on. No, it was seen that it's been put in disregard. But in truth, it is doing what it wants to do. It's braced itself. You don't see it dying because of these circumstances. So I was totally inspired. A tree did. So when they talk about tree lovers and tree huggers, I'm one of them. Um, so Shakti, would you like to chime in or anything? I would love
I
to hear
come,
from
here
you.
I come, here I come. You definitely just had me over here tearing up a little bit. I'm a very emotional person. However,
I know you are.
the dialogue, um, it definitely needs to happen, Queen. And I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position. However, I did hear you mention the thoughts of suicide, and how all this pain impacted you to that feeling of you felt you weren't worthy to be here. You didn't want to be here. You wanted anything better than this. And it's sad because so many of our people are feeling that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not being discussed on a real internal authentic level. We are sweeping these feelings under the rug and looking past them. And we're wondering why we have young Black children committing suicide right now. We have children that are 10 years old and younger killing themselves. It's really sad. So, can you speak upon, how this particular conditioning and other conditionings have us right now, the state of our people right now, what is going on within the heart of the community as an extension of, these conditionings, colorism? We have women who are arguing with each other all the time. Sisterhood is broken. It's definitely a mess. However, we can and will heal through voices such as yours. We
Mm-hmm.
need your voice. You are the minister of communication. You speak healing through your words. So what are we looking at right now on a realistic level?
We're looking at people who, you know how the storm stages are? The beginning of the storm, the middle of
Indeed.
the storm, and out of the storm.
Yes, ma'am.
We are seeing people who are not sick yet because you got to get sick to purge and to get the top. You have to go through that sickness of purging, and they haven't gotten sick yet. They're not sick. They're not sick and tired of the ignorance. They're not sick and tired of the colorism. They're not sick and tired of the degradation. They're not sick and tired of the dismissal of their culture. They're not tired and sick yet. That's why they do what they do. Got people in the storm who are tired and they're bitter because they're in the storm. and they don't know how to get out. They don't even know how they got in it, and they're sick on top of being in the middle of the storm, and they're angry and they lash out. And then you have those who are out of the storm. They have peace. They have the potential to walk into another storm, but they know how the weather works now because they didn't before. So it's a continuous cycle, which, we've had these times before, but that is the description of these different stages. And I would say you have people who have come out of the storm. They're separated in two groups out of the storm. One group is waiting for them to comfort them, give them food, nourish them, and work out with them to get to the next one. And the other half is bitter and cut off. And you have to be that way because there are going to be other people who want to break off and not have that or need to feel like they need that support and nourishment to go through another storm. They feel like they can just do it again. And that's okay. It's all right because they through the storm now. So you have those three stages going on, and you have a lot of sick people who are in the storm, and they're vocal. That's what social media has done. Social media has given you kind of the pinpoint on where everybody is. You can just get on a site and see where people are at. And what's so deceptive about seeing where everyone is that most people are lying. But then they really can't lie on themselves if you would think. Remember we was talking about earlier about people who are in sync with themselves are in sync on social media. Like,
Yes, ma'am.
like that's the same concept. I know you've been through a storm. It might not have been the same time I was, but it's just kind of when a veteran knows when they see another veteran. There's nothing anybody can tell them. They know that person has seen what they see. So that is the beautiful part, the positive part about all that struggle and that strife is there is triumph and victory and learning. So I really appreciate social media for letting me see other people learn and share with me, what they learned because we can't sit down or we choose not to sit down. We ain't even gonna get into how people with their personal relationships are all after. I ain't even gonna start talking about that. Not just yet. Because colorism is a gateway ism. That's what I've learned. Colorism is a gateway ism.
Definitely. Definitely, Queen. You were speaking to that of social media and how it's kind of like you have to be very mindful of of this particular platform, social media itself. You have to be very mindful. It is an extension of the matrix, as we all refer to, the physical world as being. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely has its best parts. It has its beautiful parts. You get to connect with like-minded and like-spirited people all across the globe just from your phone. You get to share things, as the queen was saying, learning from one another. you know it's just beautiful in that aspect. However, dealing in duality, it does has its dangerous parts, and we get to bear witness to so many ailments that our people are experiencing from mentally at a first hand view. It really gets a little bit, it gets a little sad at times, and it gets a little bit, frustrating because you're seeing what the conditionings are firsthand. And I'll bring into, and I don't do this too often. However, one of the current events is with the sister Aisha Curry, and I won't, go into
You
my
know,
views. I won't
somebody
go
asked me about
into I won't go into my personal views. However, remaining objective with the sister in the situation, a part of me definitely can see that some people are more or less inclined to disagree or agree with her, whoever, because of you know, of her skin tone. Let's just be honest. And this is may not be something that we're present to. However, conditionings happen at a subconscious level, and the subconscious controls the conscious always. You know, I say this all the time. Subconscious is 90% thought, and the conscious is 10% thought. So we we have to be very careful. However, use this as a learning tool. You get
Mm-hmm.
to see firsthand of what's going on. People are going crazy right now over this one little situation that, you
Oh
know,
my goodness. I just we got to be human out loud. And I can't say personally that I would even be having that conversation with her. You know what I mean? It's a setup. You
definitely.
know, it's a setup to start thinking about the wrong thing. You know, I, you know, I'm not worried if a married woman has lost her sense of self. That's what she's talking about. Whining at a level, it's considered whining when it goes by to me. You could have told your family that. You could have did that. But that's what I'm talking about, these storms. She's showing that she's in a storm right now. That's the storm for her
Yeah,
currently. And she's sick and tired. This might bloom into something even deeper for her that, you know, she can come out of the storm for. It might lead her to think, that's what I really think. That's what I got to think about. I'm not saying it's not relatable whatsoever, but it's kind of like so many other pressing issues I could be giving my energy to, my children. I'm not saying that your life stops when you have children, but it, it's so many other things that that whole table talk could have been about. It was a dope conversation to start off with, but they're taking a piece of what she said and running crazy with it. This is how some women feel. And just because I don't think it's a high priority in my personal life, I'm not going to deny that lady truth. Just puts perspective of where people's mind is at, like the things they're thinking about. She represents a whole group of women. I would have never even thought about that. You know what I mean, Shaggy? Have you ever thought about that?
Mm. When it comes to, just being a woman and a mother, and then knowing what we have experienced within this society, which I will, provide a level of discernment with when it comes to Aisha being born in Canada and not experiencing a lot of things that we have.
Mm,
Being a black woman here and seeing so many women, particularly our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, so many people, go through certain things because black women have had their high level of attack too due to systemic white supremacy and just the whole paradigm that goes on right now. We've had our own extension of attack, just like our men
yeah.
have this within us. We do have certain things that we have to work on. We do have healing to do. We do have mental afflictions going on. We do have insecurities. However,
Hmm.
within this particular time in this society, these insecurities that we have, they tend to cloud our judgment and our understanding level of our people around us, and we lose the sense of being relatable and connected to our people because we get so caught up in our own insecurity. It's all, well, what was me? What about me? What about me? And that's fine, sis. That's fine. But however, you have to provide a balance of, getting yourself together, but also not forgetting that the person next to you has been through something similar or something, and that's my problem. It's never that black women haven't went through anything because we have clearly, but we point our energy with our internal trauma towards the wrong people.
Hmm.
we tend to go at our fellow sisters with it. We tend to go at our brothers with it. We tend to go at our parents, even our children to a degree. When that is, these people have not caused this. They are victims like we are.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be more mindful that we all have things we need to go through. And what this particular situation did, and I'm trying to remain objective as possible, it triggered a lot of these traumas in different people, myself included, for different reasons. However, we still have to remain intact on an authentic level to identify these things in such a way that it doesn't turn people off,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we have, a position of influence amongst the masses and people that listen to us. We still have to be mindful of all these different audiences that are attracted to us. So it's not that the sister didn't have a right to feel how she felt. She definitely had that right. However, we just have to be mindful that we have eyes on us at all times and people who are going through real life things that are affected. So, just remaining in integrity with my message upon the sister, whatever she's going through, I will that she's able to use this experience, with her vocalizing in the manner that she did, using this experience to take the best part and apply it to whatever healing mechanism she's going to use for herself. And that's pretty much how I feel about the situation as a whole. Now, when we apply this to our ancestral practices, our ancestors more or less held they handled things in house. You had tribunals, you had the councils of elders that we went to discuss these things. We weren't, in this age of social media, definitely has pushed this issue into the forefront. We handled things at home. We did not tear our people down in a public manner. That's not how we operated organically. That's not how we did things until we got introduced to Eurocentrism and that way of thinking and destroying each other. And I feel as though if we learn how to operate social media effectively, and use it for our purpose in coming together, such as you and myself have, then we can actually get somewhere. However, the energy is so powerful from social media that we have situations like this that just took place with the sister. So, yeah, and it's going to keep happening, sadly, Queen.
It has to for people to get sick. Remember, they're not sick yet. They're not sick yet. They're not tired of this yet. So
Yeah.
it's gonna continue, and that's where I be at when people. I didn't even know nothing about it. I still have not seen it. I'm good. Hashtag I'm good, love. I can't say I haven't had any insecurities, but I hope you grow from this moment because look at the ricochet.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know, look
I
at that. You in a position, and
Definitely, Queen. I at first was very much like you. I was against watching the thing, but being that I operate in Black media, I had to watch it to develop a full vision of what was being said. And after watching it, my stance is still pretty much the same as it was before I watched it. But people are upset right now, rightfully so. There are some people who are very much no, like we have other things to focus on. There are a lot of people mentioning Flint right now. Flint is back,
man,
somewhat in the forefront. Somewhat. We haven't really addressed Flint as we need.
yeah, we can
You
do
know,
that.
a lot of people use when we first got, and this is me on the outside looking in, sis. I know you were there. However, when the news first broke out to the public, because from my understanding, the situation had been taking place for a few years before it went, mainstream on the media. Um, a lot of people use that opportunity for selfish reasons, for inauthentic reasons, when there were literally people, elders, men, women, children dying, mentally attacked, physically attacked by what we would call a genocide. We just have to be honest with what that was that took place. Um, and it saddens me to even talk about it now because so many people will say, and just like with the Aisha Curry situation, we the water Flint still has no clean water. Okay, you can say that, but you weren't directly there. You weren't directly impacted by that. There are people whose lives were changed forever. And it's still a problem that exists now. So yet we get distracted by these celebrities who don't even, you know, because let's face it, Aisha Curry and Steph Curry are multi-gazillionaires, whatever. They could bring 50 million to Flint, Michigan right now and really create an impact on what's going on there. But we get caught up in their issues when we have real life people that we can reach out and touch that are suffering and that have a voice that nobody cares to hear about. So, let us hear it, Queen. I know you have I can only imagine, but we definitely want to hear what you are comfortable with sharing with us just about the whole situation and, and how that definitely impacted you. So, I'm gonna be quiet right now. I am.
I love Flint. One thing that I appreciate about people in Flint is they always work hard. Everybody, everybody, you know, everybody works hard. And I appreciate it. You had all these older people from the South making their kids work hard and they still gonna go to college. And if you don't go to college, make a trade or profession. Take care of your family. Um, can't say I know the community has that type of value, but that's the one thing that is consistent. You're always blocked by different circumstances and elements in the city. Wherever we thrive, we can take, but they want peace. They want change. Once it's done, the good things that we can do to a generation. Um, it's where do I even start? Yeah. So GM, I'm gonna start with them. They made the city boom. I know y'all know the history. It's the automotive city. It's the automotive. It was a automotive maker as the Detroit was rebuilt. Is still, and it when the city did the strike, most of our grandparents, like great grandparents, grandparents, they don't. Our grandparents like you're gonna pay me or I'm gonna get a union rep. Because they've been working in the factory. They came up here and they worked in the factory, just like the people back in the 20s worked in the factory. And whenever the workers, the hardworking families of the city want to fight back because of the unfair conditions, that corporation would punish the community. So, continuous punishment is what people do have been suffering because whenever we make a way out of the punishment, like when you get used to, if you ever was spanked or if you know about spanking, beaten, at some point it doesn't hurt anymore. Sometimes for some people, some babies, they don't feel no pain anymore. And they might grab the belt from you and walk away. And that's what black people do. Really, really beat me for so long until I get up out of this. And then they come find you over there and beat you up. So you have two different types of generations. Uneducated, hardworking from the South. Everyone who went to college and tried to stay in the city and make it better. And then the third generation, they benefited from both those two generations. They got culture and they got uh, love in the city. And then the generation after is what who have the babies who are dying of poison. So they had a chance to continue to be great, but it's poison stopping so many things besides our health. I uh, I worked as basically a social worker. I was a transition specialist. I worked for a homeless shelter for ages 17 to 21. Um, and these youth come from everywhere. And this is where colorism did come into play many times, as well as, you know, the continuous divide in the human traffic. When I was at my job, I told myself, I'm always going to look out for who looks like me. And I'm not just talking about the way I look and how I felt as a black girl, as a teenager, hoping somebody would look out for me and I didn't know who to trust, what adult to trust. So, you know, in this situation, a lot of these black girls come from the city of Flint, but they have, you know, kids coming from all over, but not from Flint. And they would kick the black girls out and put them in there so they could get this funding and get all the resources that come with it, getting a doctor, getting therapists. And then they're pumping these kids up for the curve. So not only are they pumped up, you know, 5 pills in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, 8 at night, they're also bathing in this water, cooking with this water. Luckily, you know, there were so many different places to get water we were able to. And one of my jobs there was to instill life skills, which is cooking and, you know, knowing how to fix things at your home and how to get a credit union or a bank account, how to buy a car, different life skills you need. And the things that they will have to go through um, to get actual regular love and attention and being taught these things seems so hard, but I'm working through it. So our city had so many vultures and opportunists, and this is where the black people went through a proud to be black, and the whole family is right there, and they have pride for their community. They saw who really didn't care about the community, and their heart is broken. Period. You got people who've been going to these churches and tithing their money and thinking it's getting their soul saved, and I can't say that it's not spiritual. Can't take away from whatever they learn. So I can't say they have been robbed of a person who was supposed to help uplift them in body and spirit, and they have been exploited. My city been exploited. You know, my friends and my family have been exploited. And what makes it so bad is that we cannot deny now how you can look at somebody who look at like you and it means nothing if they're soulless. Because when you betray your own people, you've given up a piece of your soul. You've made your decision and you gotta pay for it. So talking about Flint is not hard for me because I love my city. And if I did um, ever, if I did ever try to um, get away, that I have moved away. I had to move away. And if I would have stayed, I know I would be sick right now, not in the way where I normally get better. Right now I'm getting better. I can't say other places have not been poisoned. There's poison everywhere. And they want to really control the environment of your body and your spirit and your neighbor and the things that should just naturally be able to give you life. So I am just so, I feel blessed to know where I stand, and I stand with nature, stand with my ancestors, I stand with my people, and no matter what they try to do to anybody in Flint who is powerful, which was most people in Flint, once you get there, they'll tell you where you can get everything. They know somebody who can do this, and everybody's connected there. And it's rough because it's bitter because every time you get something, it seems like it gets taken. Perfect example of look at Dion's story. You know, he was a boxer with Mayweather, and he came back and he opened a store, and he got so much negativity because and it was mostly from our people. Like, why would you open a store? Why wouldn't he open a store? And to see the people who supported him and used him to promote different campaigns, like the man. And where's his store now? Is it open? Have you visited? You know, it's sad because people try to do great things and they get destroyed. And we can't always blame everybody else. And we talked about in-house. These are the type of things that we would have to deal with in-house, and now we bring in nobody into it. With the Flint Water Crisis, they have continued to exploit the children, exploit the elders, exploit the educators who, they build programs to help uplift our community. They did this and it was beautiful. I experienced it. I learned from it. I became clean off of it. So for it to be destroyed because it was so great, like everything else. Once I said before, we are in the three cycles all the time. And they had to destroy what was uplifting, and creating beautiful people. Um, I know people who still live there and they got a lot of health problems and they're not dying and they survive it and they triumph it and they got a positive attitude. So when I go other places and people complain about something so small, a high water bill, I can't, I might say really quick complaining about your $39 water bill. There were times I had 125, the highest was 385 water bill that I could not use for water. My pit bull got bumped. He losing his hair on his butt. I had to stop. He was the first one I noticed. And just knowing that they didn't they didn't let you think that it was an accident. It was blatant. I have youth who were brilliant and then they couldn't remember their own phone number. They don't know how to do trigonometry no more. They're in the 10th grade. They're gifted. They can't, they're losing their hair. They're getting bacteria problems in their pants. They're going through a lot. And you trying to tell me nobody can fix this. And we have, Michigan, you're part of Michigan, Shaki. We have, you know, one of the hugest sources of natural water. But our cities are getting poisoned because they want the land and they want to get rid of any possible, brilliance in the future. But they can't do that. And that's the unfortunate part. So at least they tried. And I put candles and incense on my altar for all the people who have died and all the people who are suffering, who they got their pipes dug up and it didn't matter because it was the source in which they were using. There was a woman who had a thing called Project Flint, she's from Wisconsin. She found the documents where GM signed an agreement to, they actually made a contract to dump 500 gallons toxic waste into the Flint River and not the treatment center because GM sold them a building for $1 that was worth a million, $500,000. So they do business and they kill us and they're still making money. So um, there is a video I've shared numerous times with her saying that she found this agreement that they were granted to do this because they couldn't stop them from doing it because they already had a toxic runoff site. They already had one and it was overflowing. And they said, you know what, can we just dump this in here? Ain't nothing but some poor niggas down there on the river. The shop workers, makers, all the predominantly successful black niggas. So for it to go this far and for the federal government to say that PETA won't help because it is not a natural disaster is definitely not taking go for this. The two women with the two children first to be infected and be found high level before Miss Mona Tisha, they go, they have been murdered, they're gone. And they could have tried their case, but they're gone. So knowing things like that, I'm gonna switch to the positives. Positives are people who come together that didn't know that they could work together. Now you know who's willing to sell you out, and you're not blind. Now there are opportunities for any entrepreneurs who have innovative things they've created during this time, and they're moving away who would have never moved. So those are the positive things that I can say about it. Nothing. Yeah.
Okay, that mute button. Thank you for that, Queen. Definitely. Because a lot of us only had superficial information about what actually took place within Flint during that time frame before we found out and currently to this day. Um,
The crisis, they use the pipes as the problem. The pipes are the minimal problem. What you need to address is what started back that was signed on paper in 2014.
Indeed, you know, when I first got wind of it, just like everybody else did, particularly in Detroit, um, I was completely flabbergasted because it's a whole city that has this water going on, and we are surrounded by all these bodies of water. It just didn't make any sense. It didn't add up to me. And we got more and more of the story from mainstream media, which is only going to give you partial truths. And we were able to actually get in touch with people who were there currently. And one of the friends of my family was up there, and he still lives there now. And I reached out to him because I wanted to know from the people. I don't want to know what the news has to say. I don't care what the news has to say. Um, the brother told me, I don't see why y'all upset now. We've been dealing with this, and
Hmm.
it broke my heart. It really broke me down.
Something I failed to mention was that my brother, who repatriated to Zimbabwe, he was guerrilla gardening before he left. He was treating poison the soil. So, you know, my mom, after he left, my mom said she's reading things in the Nurses Digest, you know. She's saying, why aren't the public health departments deploying nurses? Because this is, my mom is a nurse's family. And then a year later, it's on the news, you know? So, and they closed the public. That's the one thing I forgot to say that is very important. And I gotta say about uh, gentrification. They kill you first, then they make you sick so you can live, and then you can live in the new community if you fix it. So they closed health departments that 80% of the city was coming to. They closed it, and it had all the services from WIC to, primary care physicians, STD, HIV, the public health department, code enforcement. All of it was in one building. And 80% of the city population, which was well over 100,000 at this time, almost 200,000. These 80% of 200,000 people come into this building. They closed that place first. And you had mutated STDs. You had, babies dying, not living very long, high infant mortality rate. Mothers dying childbirth after
Wow.
one was closed. And the only one else available was two. One that was in the city limits downtown that is connected to the jail.
Mm, mm, mm.
You know what that is? Connected. The only other available within the city limits on the bus line downtown is connected to a jail. You take it, you walk in and you can go to the courthouse, or you go up the escalator and you can go to the health department.
What type of? Mm.
And the only other one was out of the city limits in Burton to
My,
Grand, and it's only open 3 days a week, 4 days a week.
my God.
Messed up hours. So that was the first wave. The first wave was getting rid of the public health and the people in the community who have programs for after school and freedom school, and they got rid of those things first. The things that enrich the community and heal the community. That was
They
the first strike.
oh, they took away all of the public health departments. Uh,
But you got three. You got Hurley, McLaren, and Genesis. How is it these three hospitals, and then you got U of M, Kettering, Mott, U of M, Ferris State.
are you
They
serious?
all got centers all in there. What was wrong with their water? U of M was the first college to put water purifiers in their college, and that was 7 years ago. They remodeled all of U of M first. Then they did the hospital early. That's what I'm saying. They remodeled things first because they knew what was coming. So
Mm.
we wonder how, people ask, what about the people in the hospitals? Are they getting sick? No, because they already changed their system 5 years ago. So,
Just like
yeah.
in the city of Detroit, majority of the citizens depend upon the public health department down there for just about everything. And Flint is definitely similar in demographics and just the community. And for them to. It's just it was very structured from what happened. Glenn. It was very well thought out, um, and it's a tragedy that we have the governor Rick Snyder, former governor, whatever the hell you want to call this white boy, is still walking around free, like nothing happened. He has no conscience, and there's deaths on his hands, and the whole freaking legislature. Let's just be honest with you. Um, the CDC. I looked into this a few years back because I wanted to get more of a clarity of the children who uh, contracted lead poisoning from that particular time, and the CDC, which I know would not actually be right and exact, however, giving me a centralized number. The CDC said 9,000 children alone. We're not talking about the adults. The 9,000 children were directly impacted by lead poisoning. However, I know that that number has to be a little bit more than that, given that Flint had a lot of residents. So realistically, honey, when it comes to the babies, we you spoke to the health department being shut down, so they're not getting any treatment. Um, the babies, the children of Flint, what does that look like for us who aren't there? What can we take into consideration with the children?
What do we have to take into consideration of the children?
Ma'am, with the climate, with the babies, the youth that were directly impacted by this. I know you mentioned working at a shelter and being directly involved with, certain things in the community.
Their
People,
their critical thinking is turned on. It's either high energy or no energy. There's no the part where they learn how to tweak how they feel and what they think and their value system and what makes them intelligent is missing. All you get is hypersexual, hyper introverted, suicidal, extremely violent. You know. So um, having
what
those things turned off, the things that make them. Uh, this is the funny thing about it. The truth is funny. You can never completely, destroy the brilliance of our children because even in spite of those things, they still perform with knowing that they had something that they lost and they're trying to get it back. And they are apologetic for, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was like that. The absent mindedness. Their mind is getting attacked completely to, become I can't say everybody who has the potential to have high intelligence will be a good person. But what I can say is give them the chance. You took it away. And so we can never know the full potential of a generation. Um,
um, I just got a little bit choked up there.
mhm.
I was able to visit Flint during that trip. During that initial time where the public found out what was going on. I was able to physically visit Flint one time, sadly. And during that visit, it was very surreal. It was very surreal to see the elders. We went to a senior living apartment, and I believe it was a women's shelter. Um, and to see these people just, oh my gosh, um, we're dealing with a modern day, just the genocide is all you can call it. The queen just got finished speaking to, the children. Their critical thinking skills are, they're gone. Their ability to discern, to all of these things, like those babies were set up for murder. Because even though they're still physically living, when one doesn't have full capabilities of their brain, that's death. And now we have innocent children, not to exclude the adults and the elders, but we have innocent children who didn't ask for none of this. This is what they have to live with now forever. And this is real life. This is ongoing. This has not stopped. Nothing has changed. It's only gotten worse. And the sister said it. Queen said it. It's because they want the land. It's their form of gentrification. They, they want to get the people on out of there one way or another. So you attack the brain, the rest will follow.
Yes,
And,
yes,
and
real emotions.
and we want to get into actual deaths, because a lot of us aren't aware that there were actual deaths that took place due to what happened. Can you give us what, a little bit of what that looks like? Was it due to, you know the water and the public, the health departments being shut down, people not getting proper treatment and care? What took place?
Well, I'm gonna start with there was a man named starts with a T. He told us one day that they paid people to test water. He would lie about their test results. What's the name? He was a part of the city council. One piece. His name was One. He told us. He told a group of young people came to an artist showcase at the Greater Flint Art House, and he said, "I'm a part of the Greater Flint Art House, and you young people just said, boom, I gotta know you. They're gonna lie about some test results. They paid the university, I think, for 2 years to lie about test results about the test they didn't even want. They paid these people $11,000 to them. And if you ever have cancer in your family, you take hot showers to help grow the tumors. The skin itself turns into a chemical from the hot shower, and you mm, and, you and someone asked him, "Where did you get that information?" He said, "Didn't I said I came from the city council, and it was one pay. Don't take a hot shower. Get your house water tested and get a filter put on your showers and your sink." And afterwards, everybody else was talking to him, telling him information. I was just shocked and grateful at the same time to be there. And then first we had people, a case on the news, it said a case of leukemia, which is a bacteria, um, killing, it kills your good cells, to help work that keeps you clean, self-cleaning. So when people not taking showers and using the right hygiene, some people survive, some people die, and um, I had someone close to me who was young, he got cancer, he went to the hospital, he tested him, he was born into the middle. He went there, he probably had food poisoning, had um, gotten some kind of blood from not anything because we were using bottles. And A month later, he died because they said he had cancer brain injury, which was so young people getting cancer and tumors is people who are in their 30s, people who are in their 20s, seeing things develop quicker just because they have the gene, not because, it's rapidly, on a natural pace, getting accelerated. So the science is harmful, the intentions are harmful, and it's doing damage to people, if not killing them. So, the different problems that were coming from people not bathing, as well as people's pets not getting fed. That's a whole other aspect. We had dogs that were wild, in certain neighborhoods. And if you got big, it was much worse than just like having this type of shot. These type of antibiotics. Um, I'm not saying that there was a lot of cases of this, but because animals were also, poisoned and essentially not even dead. And what was happening to people happened to people's pets. So just the consequences of having to adjust to the situation caused even more damage.
Oh, Queen. My heart, my heart goes out to you all.
And you become numb after seeing so much and hearing so much and watching the news. They have these trials. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, um, all you want. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. All you want is the problem to be solved that should have never even happened. I talk about Pure Music King. They advertise this. We live this. We love fishing. We go to all these different community centers have pools. We love water. We have a concert amphitheater built on the water. We have African festivals every year, Juneteenth by the water, and it's huge. The whole city come out. So that was the one thing they need that could do what they intended and have succeeded at doing. Nothing with the water, poisoning the water.
Water is the basic human necessity. Our bodies are composed of, 70% water. We don't need nothing else. You can go days, even up to a week or two, without eating food per se, even more. But water, what our organs need to function,
Hmm.
the as I said, the most basic vital element for us to live. A whole city was purposely poisoned, and it definitely it speaks to the heart of those who truly care.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. that's,
Okay,
that's them ancestors.
I
That's
was
all.
just about to say that. I was just about to say. That's why I like you, Shakti. Like you.
I like
Um,
sister. I do, and
can we go on a music break?
we definitely could, wrap it
It's
up.
like we still
Would
got
you?
one more conversation to have, and that one it's gonna be on a better, you know, it's gonna be on a note. I'm not gonna say what type of note. It's gonna be on a note. I need like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So can you play a song, a jam?
Let's see. Hold on. She say she
Play
want.
some Nipsey.
Hold on
Play.
1 second. 1 second. I got you. 1 second. Let me. Hold on, I'm going on mute so I can.
Me too. I'm gonna go on mute.
Alrighty. Willfully, you all can hear that.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Yeah. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, I'm married to this game. That's who I made my wife. Said I die alone. I told that bitch she probably right. One thing that's for sure, not a stranger to this life. Got a safe that's full of Franklins and a shoulder full of stripes. I don't know a nigga like myself. I say self-made, meaning I design myself. County jail fade, you can pull my foul yourself. Spy raid, swallow rocks, I'm getting high myself. Nah, damn right, I like the life I built. I'm from West Side 60. Shit, I might got killed. Standing so tall, they think I might got stiff. Legendary baller like Mike, like Will. 96 Impala, thug life on wheels. Up against the wall, squabble at Fox Hills. Like a motherfucking boss, ask me how I feel. Successful street nigga touching them first meals. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Yeah. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, I got everything I said I was gonna get on my kid. In addition to that fact, I went legit. I'm the shit now, according to the way that I'm positioned. In this biz, it look like I'm just gonna keep on getting rich. Know that West Side RSCs is us. LAPD on my dick, I'ma squeeze and bust. If a rap nigga did switch cheese and bust, all this rap money, nigga, look, I need too much. Money, loyalty, and love, in the dream we trust. You'll be switching up the players on your team too much. Tiny Copy, that's my low, Young Supreme, what's up? And we travel around the world getting cream or what? Ain't you get off on whoever hustle seem to brush? Las Vegas strip pop, yeah, you creamed them punks. After all that looking tough, all he seen was stunts. 50 Cent and Mayweather flee to sing with us. True story. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Yeah. All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Yeah.
At B&H, we found a way for you to save
I'm
the
on
text.
YouTube.
Have to have the
Forgive me,
latest Sony
fam. I'm
camera
about to
and save
skip
the
the
text.
ad.
You got it. Need the new map?
Okay.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rap. Last time that I checked, I was selling zones in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat. Last time that I checked, I'm the streets voice out west. Legendary self-made progress. Last time that I checked, first you get the money, then respect, then the power and the hoes come next. Last time that I checked, I've been self-made from the dribble. I was been saying I'm a killer. Nah. Playing no games with you niggas. Pop clutch, switch lanes on you niggas. Look, I laid down the game for you niggas. Taught you how to charge more than what they paid for you niggas. On the whole thing for you niggas. Reinvest, double up, then explain for you niggas. It gotta be love. Run the city, it gotta be cuz. It's for the pieces I took off the Monopoly board. Yeah, y'all niggas false claims, it gotta be fraud. Just keep the hood about your mouth and you gotta be charged. I doubled up, tripled up, nigga, what? Banged on the whole game, I ain't give a fuck. Nobody tripping, handle business, got my digits up. And when I drop, you know I'm about to flash. Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rap last time that I checked. I was selling songs in the set, making $250,000, no sweat last time that I checked. I'm the streets voice out west, legendary self-made progress last time that I checked. First you get the money, then respect, then the power and the hoes come next. Last time that I checked, check, no cosign, I ain't need radio to do mine. I done fine and I take my time and take my tribe. Every level that I crossed in this game, like state lines, it was visionary. Either I'm genius or you niggas scary. Maybe it's both in this balance I deliver daily. For every nigga in these streets trying to feed the babies. The single mamas working hard not to miss a payment. And dirty money get washed on royalty statements. Black owners in this game are powerful racists. Young niggas in the set just doing it makeshift. Out the garage, how you end up in charges. How you end up in penthouses, end up in cars. It's how you start off a curb surfer, end up a boss. It's how you win the whole thing and lift up a cigar with sweat dripping down your face. Cause the mission was time that I checked. It was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rap last time that I checked. I was selling songs in the set, making $250,000, no sweat last time that I checked. I'm the streets voice out west, legendary self-made progress last time that I checked. First you get the money, then respect, then the power and the hoes come next. Last time that I checked.
I got the front and in the back. We on the way and that's a fact. This real, this ain't rap. Where everybody wanna act pro-black. The last lie you heard is ain't that, just that. I did, made it out the gutter shit. Nip told you fuck the middleman, I told you fuck a bitch. Fuck wearing they clothes, I wear my own shit. Y'all got on y'all label, I own my own, bitch. Hey, nigga, I remember all that game you throw me. Don't fuck around and get played by the label owners. Talk that shit to these niggas, Adrian Broner. But secure the window, don't let the game go. Cause when it's game over, it's when the game over. And all they do is play the game till this game over. And you be giving game like a big brother mission, never let them take it from us.
Last time that I checked, it was 5 chains on my neck. It was no smut on my rap last time that I checked. I was selling songs in the set, making $250,000, no sweat last time that I checked. I'm the streets voice out west, legendary self-made progress last time that I checked. First you get the money, then respect, then the power and the hoes come next. Last time that I checked.
Yes, indeed, fam. Yes, indeed. That was our great ancestor, the king himself, Nipsey Hussle. And we had to take that quick break as per the Empress's request. Had to go, freshen up a little bit, powder her face, get some water. We got a little emotional right here. Indeed, Queen. Again, for those who are tuning in, because we do have some quite a few viewers, this is an episode of Submissive Misses on the platform Get This Wisdom Live. I am your host, Shakti Sterner, editor-in-chief of Get This Wisdom magazine. We got our queen in the building, front and center, giving us some powerful information, our sister, the goddess herself, Kay. And we have been speaking on various topics tonight and how they're all intertwined. We opened with colorism, and that was some great information shared. Then we went into how that Aisha Curry situation is, intertwined, and how the Aisha Curry situation is intertwined now with our current topic, Flint. And we're not going to stay there too much longer because we do have one more subject I want the queen to build on. I know it's getting pretty late. I got to get my babies to bed. She got to get her beautiful self to bed to keep that beautiful glow.
10:30.
Indeed. So when we just wrapping up the Flint portion, can you speak to, and again, disclaimer at the beginning of the video, I am a stay-at-home mother, so you may hear my children. Don't worry about it. That's what we do. We family. Can you speak to the resiliency and the people of of Flint, the community, the fight, the wherewithal to not give up, That's some heavy shit to really live a reality that, your governor poisoned the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? And attack
Mhm.
children. This is a hell of a reality, but that is the true reality. So, can we actually speak to the heart of the community? What did you see come together during that process and thereafter? The fight, the beauty. Go ahead. The microphone is yours, Queen.
Um, Everybody who wanted to have their own business, they did it. It started because what am I going to do if I have to keep paying these high bills? But I can't get no court case and get blessed for what they took from me. So I have to be innovative. I have to create. So there's a lot of creative input, music, clothes, um, fresh food. A lot of people became farmers, jewelry, our different types of stones. Just so many different resources. You got people doing Reiki out there. A lot of different young people who are masseuse and getting into the yoni scene. That's why I said, there's positives to the whole situation. You got people pushed to do what they got to do to, not only try to overcome the constant circumstance of negativity and be a positive force in their community against, every eye, even their families. So it pushed a lot of people into becoming entrepreneurs and a lot of older people to respect the younger generation and the younger generation to seek knowledge from the elders. So it brought us all together um, where we were falling apart due to, the two biggest ones I would say is always either a lot of young person and older person relationships that didn't have no fruit. It was all destructive, because it came perverted. It didn't come to build anything. It only came to be perverse. Versus, like I said, those programs that were out there to build the young people. And they want to pass the torch off to the young people. And a lot of them have, and a lot of them were, unsuccessful. But the ones that were successful, they're booming. They're doing great. And perfect person to look to feel pride and survival is Clarissa. She's amazing. She's a world champion. And she's such a nice, uh, she's a person who has suffered from colorism. You know, younger days, if they weren't being so nice to her, she could beat you up. So the things that she's endured, I would love to have her talk on that very subject. And now she's at the top. I wonder how she feels as, the images of the popes in the church kissing the Black Madonna. She goes to other countries and fighters do that to her. Like she's the Black Madonna. She's a world champion and she's a physical representation of the heart of God. That is someone who, whenever I see her, she's smiling. Whenever I see her, she's in her element, and she inspires me. And she inspires me. You see, there's no one who can say they look at Clarissa Shields or anything bad. They only feel good. They feel like they beat this problem with her. So it's beautiful to see her emerge and be a world champion, not just national champion. She's a world champion. So I would say that is the resilience of the people in it is Clarissa Shields. Her. She is the embodiment of our hearts. And it just feels good to know we can still win despite all odds. So the next subject that is much lighter.
Indeed. All praises due to, the family in Flint, you know,
Yeah,
for still fighting a good fight and just moving forward in a powerful fashion in a situation that was very difficult, and also giving all praises due to the ancestors we gained from that situation as well. Flint still needs real support, family, not no photo op, sugar puff Facebook post, pray for Flint. No, no, no. with Flint needs some real support. So definitely keep them in your thoughts and in your ancestral divinations at night and in the morning. All right, Queen. So let's get to the next subject.
One more thing on that is if you want to support,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Support the entrepreneurs, man. Support their businesses, support their events.
That's
That
right.
go to their events. Take the little hour drive, 45 minutes, however far you are. You hear about an event, a concert, go.
That's
You hear about a pop up shop, go. Spend with them.
definitely.
Okay.
That's the way to support Flint. Support them entrepreneurs up there that's providing for their families and the community. Definitely send some money, whatever you got. And at the end, we'll have the queen give her information in case you want to add on. She'll definitely direct you to where you need to go, who you need to connect with, and all that beautiful stuff. All righty, queen. So here we go. We gonna end it with this topic. It's another deep one, but not as deep as the Flint situation was.
Yeah.
You
Whew.
know, so this one is, speaking to the heart of our fluid figured black women, our fluid figured queens in this society. There's a lot going on with us heavier sisters. I'm one. I know a couple of them. We're everywhere. But we definitely we get some flack. But we get some props at the same time. So,
Oh, shit, that's what I like to say. I love
yes,
you.
yes, yes, yes. We get some flack, but we definitely we got some positive things going on as well. So let's hear it. What are some of the things that we go through on a just on a real scale within the society, the biases we get, the judgments, the just all of that beautiful stuff that comes up with being a human being. What does that look like for us? And what are some of the good sides, the triumphs, the successes,
Oh, I
yeah,
got all of that for you.
let's hit it.
So we're gonna keep it funky. We're gonna go back to the plantation. Big Mama was getting raped by Michael, right? Big Mama, right? You cooking and cleaning. You would think she was not the one, but she was the one. So if he can see the beauty in her, you know, how can we not look at the artifacts from Africa, the big bellies and the big boobs, and the people worshiping those bodies. And that's not just in Africa, but that's all over the world. So there is a cover up going on, and it's getting exposed right now, and I love it. I can't say I always was comfortable with my weight. There are times when I am just tired, and I know if I wasn't this size, I wouldn't be so tired. Um, but it's also giving me a a filter, for keeping those who really not bold, who really don't want it, who really don't want to deal away from me. And I love it. I love it. Um, I'm a person who, if you want to be with me, you gotta really let me know that you want to be with me. My self-esteem is not low in the way that I need your attention. I need to know that we can have other things that aren't necessarily physical, but most times in my life I have to deal with the reality of what I look like. And that's been a concept as I get older, what I look like. Um, it is so much fun to see the list of my so many big women are stylish, they're beautiful, and they're innovative, and they never get to shine in media, but in a lowly manner, not a good. The Parkers, what Monique did was amazing. I used to love seeing her in her future. Love, and I love seeing her transform into a fit woman. It, she's still thick, but she's a fit woman. I love seeing transformations. It doesn't even. always matter about your size per se, but when you're dealing with the physical, you might as well appreciate it. You might as well deal with it. So my struggle, the negative parts of being big is how people might think you're disgusting, how they might treat you or judge you and think that you're not living a healthy lifestyle, all you eat is junk food, like all the misconceptions that just come off rip and will come off someone's mouth if you would give them the opportunity of what you're doing to be like that. Like there's something wrong with you for it. Um, I dealt with it with my family first. You know, link back. I told you colorism is a gateway to other isms, and there is no. I don't know the name if there is an ism for discriminating against someone because of their weight, but I experienced it with my family first, out of not necessarily my weight but my height. Those are two things. There's numerous things I had checked off on the list of derogatory comments, but the main two was my height and my weight. So not only did I have to deal with, being the big girl or a big girl, I also was tall. So when I told you I had to embrace myself at a young age so I could be happy, so I could enjoy who I was, I had to go through the people who I loved the most to get to me, to embrace me, and understand that it's what I'm choosing. I have to be comfortable with it. And if I know I got a plan to be somewhere else or, have a certain type of way I want to look or be perceived, that's up to me. So, Shaki, you have anything right now?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. First,
So,
thank you, thank you.
I felt you.
I want to add on with the Queen Mothers as our sister spoke upon Big Mama, but I want to take it back over into Ghana and Nigeria and, and,
Mhm.
and those continental places back home when we saw a woman that was heavier, and this is not just something that was in a movie, this is something you can research on your own. A woman who was heavier was a sign of royal stature, and if she wasn't particularly heavy, there were certain rituals that took place to get some more weight on her body. This is
Mhm.
what was standard in certain places in Africa. So, in this society and its Europeanized concepts of beauty, it definitely has played it took its toll, pardon me, on how we view ourselves. Not just heavy women, but women overall. But heavy women in this society tend to get the lowest end of the stick when it comes to public perception. People, it's not even, I've heard it so much and I've observed it so much. You're a fat black woman, not a black fat woman. They identify you with your body shape first. And it's like, come on now, that's a little bit redundant and juvenile. One second. Pardon self. It's pretty much redundant at this time, and people, it shows the lack of cultural knowledge that people have. One second.
Mhm.
Yeah, my daughter's getting a little bit cranky, so we're definitely gonna have to wrap it up soon. But
You
yeah,
said 10:30. What's
yeah, it's
10:30?
bedtime over here, but it shows the lack of cultural knowledge we have across the board, and the assumptions that we have that all bigger women, although they are heavy in weight, that they are internally unhealthy, which is not necessarily the truth. Because I know some heavier women that are a lot healthier internally than some smaller women. Some smaller women are not taking their vitamins and eating the proper foods. They're drinking.
Totally agree. I got a cousin who is genetics for her. She just can't gain any weight. You know, like she eats. She when she lived with me, it was about 2 years we lived together. She says, "You don't eat nothing I eat, and I don't eat nothing you eat. Why am I not the big one?" It just it tickled my soul. It was so true. And I agree with you.
Indeed. So for me, the biggest misconception would be
You
that
guys.
bigger women don't love themselves, that we don't have confidence, and that we are just nasty, sloppy, and unhealthy women, which is not the truth. That is complete, ignorance that is being pushed through, again, Eurocentrized beauty standards, and then we have adapted that thought process ourselves. So
Mhm.
if anything, that would be something that I speak to and want to clarify for anybody who needs to know that. So yeah, we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here because it is kind of late and everybody needs to go to bed. However, Queen, I'm gonna allow you to come back up to the microphone to let us know what you got going on, how we can support you, your contact information, for those who want to support you, and also for those who want to reach out to Flint and support the entrepreneurs or any endeavors going on there. The floor is yours, beautiful lady.
Okay. So first piece to the earth, Shakti. All praises due. I appreciate you for having me here to speak with you. And I know in the future we'll have more dialogue because we could talk for hours. If the time was not really of the essence and people were on a schedule, because we could talk. And I appreciate the talk that we've had. Something I personally do is I have a music channel. And that's the way you can support me is if you go here and you check it out. It's on SoundCloud. It's KAKESCUTE. It's a discovery channel of music. I have an Instagram that promotes a lot of the music on there. I'm all about our folks who produce and write and arrange and heal us through the sounds. I'm all for the sounds to heal because there's so many things out here that are not really speaking the truth into our soul. There's a lot of music that has no soul, but there's a lot of music that has, things that tell you negative things to do. And if you can find the right vibration, you can rock with it. And I have a lot of that on my channel. A way that you can support people in Flint is you support the entrepreneurs, like I said before. You can reach out to me on Facebook. My name is Kay. Uh, T and the last name is Tanimowo. And if you just send me a message, I can connect you with who you need to connect with in the city. I don't want to give out that information because I haven't confirmed it with them yet. And I would like to get to know who you are passing on. Because, there have been, like you said, opportunities and scares, and I'm just not for it. So if you have, resources you would like to give to the community, please get out me on Facebook. I know Shakti probably will let you message her as well to get a hold of me. And um, also, if you go to Instagram, check out the Instagram page called The Poison City. A woman traveled 10 hours, got stopped numerous times by the cops to come talk to the people and let them give their confession about the things they experienced. The thing is called The Poison City. They also have a Facebook page. They're trying to just get our voices heard and for you to get more tangible facts and understanding about what happened here. So please check that out. And also my Instagram is the Flint K. That's TheFlihGhtwKay. Thank you, Shakti.
Thank you, sister girl. It's been a pleasure, speaking with you. We can go on for hours, as you said. I might have to bring you on for a part two. You know how we do it. You came through. You gave them this wisdom, and I appreciate you so much from the bottom of my spirit. Thank you so much.
It's the baby for me.
And until next time, beautiful queen, peace, love, and black power.
Black power, peace and love.